Okay, we'll try that. See how it works out. Okay, so I will tell you exactly what you need to know for your midterm. If I don't tell you to study it, it's not going to be on the exam, so don't spend time studying stuff that's not on there. Let's start and run down through it with the source points. Similar class to the first one, but hopefully now it should start to make a little more sense. The source points. Two things you need to know for yin channels. You quantify that yin organ, right? Quantify that yin organ. Like lung 9, source point quantifies with lung yin, lung qi. For yang channels, they dispel excess pathogens, otherwise known as the 6 evils, which are the wind, the cold, dryness, dampness, heat, sun, season, right? Sometimes listed as phlegm, but phlegm is not an external pathogenic factor. You don't get attacked by phlegm. You have dampness, that you can live in a damp environment, you can live in a basement or something, and you can have damp attack. You don't get attacked by phlegm. Phlegm is an aggression. Source points, that's all you need to know. For meridians, the shoestring point is the same point. For yin meridians, the yang meridian is not the case. For yin meridians, they are. That's all you need to know for that. There won't be any questions on, like, do you have to know all of the source points? You'll have to know that for the chart. Filling out the chart, you're going to get that up until the bladder blank, and then you have to fill that in. All the points. You won't have to put the elements, but you'll have to put the Harari quantification and sedation.
And you need to know all the way down to the back.
Just the back shoe and the front moves that we've done. The ones on the red points that we haven't done, you won't have to know. So you have to know. We'll get to that. I'll tell you ones you need to know for front moves. Okay, the low points I'm not going to write down. You have to know the whole note. On the second page here, connects yin-yang pairs, regulates problem affecting both paired channels, reinforce the action of source points. Now you can see how large intestine 4 and lung 7 moves together. Reinforce the action of the source point. Low point like that. We use that combination a lot. Yes, regulates qi between the left and right sides of the channel. Regulates the flow of qi between the organs related to the midday-midnight law. So you have to know that whole note pretty much. So that point's pretty important. The main, I can point it out. Way back.
Yeah, the main function.
Yes, the main function's on there. That's all you need to know. For the low points is the whole thing.
Do you have any extra
I have this one. You can use it. What's next? Sheet cleft? Sheet cleft points do two main things. They treat acute problems related to organ function and meridian. We'll treat the meridian or we'll treat the organ's function. Acute problems related to organ function or acute problem related to the meridian. That's all you need to know for sheet clefts. Sheet clefts are used like that in theory, but they're not. We don't really see them used like that very much in the clinical side. They kind of get a bad rap like the gene river. Gene river is hard to for their clinical theory. What's next on there? Front move is easy. It treats acute problems related to organ function. Lung one, you have an acute cough. What's going on right now? You need to clear that phlegm and heat. Front move points look great. A lot of them are on the Ren channel. So the ones we need to know are lung, one. Large intestine is 725. Spleen. What's next on there that's not in Ren? Well, we haven't got to liver yet. Spleen is liver 13, right? Spleen, liver 13, front move. Heart is Ren, small intestine is Ren, and bladder is Ren 2. So those are the three you need to know.
So is that large intestine?
Lung 1 and the large intestine front move point is stomach 25. Spleen's front move point is liver 2. Those are the ones you need to know. Heart is a Ren point. What are they called? Or why are they called alarm points? Organs of disharmony, exactly. When they're tender on palpation, they alert you of organ disharmony. One type of diagnosis, you can press on all the front move points, find the most end of it, and treat there first. Balance those out. Okay, what's next? Back shoes? Back shoes. Shoes and moves are easy. They treat chronic problems related to organ function. The inner line does what? Inner line treats the organ function. And the outer line treats the spiritual emotional aspect of it. That is what you need to know for these first couple ones. What's next? You're going to have to know for the back shoes, you're going to have the same question that you got on your quiz. Is matching up the number with the name to match it up. And you will have to fill in all the bladder points here too, on the bottom here. Okay, what's next? Let's skip inferior anesthesia and go straight to what? Do you know? Yeah. Okay, we'll get back to the disease in a moment. Gene well points, what does the chi do? What kind of movement does the chi have in the gene wells? There's an outward movement. So chi is the most superficial. Know that. Gene well or tin well is the most superficial chi. And the outward movement. It's used when immediate change is necessary. You treat things like convulsions, epilepsy, fainting. Okay. What's up? Gene string is easy, right? What's it clear? Heat. What kind of heat? Any heat. True or false heat? True heat is excess heat. It's written like this. CHI. Excess. False heat is empty heat. Deficient heat. Right? Yang above the baseline is true heat. Or yin deficiency, your yang's at a normal level and your yin is at a deficiency. It's always easier to clear the excess than it is to treat the deficiency. It takes a lot longer to nourish things, build, build. It's always easier to clear heat, clear stagnation, move phlegm, transfer phlegm, like that. It's usually this process with acupuncture takes a long time. You're only trying to support yin by supporting the organs that help build yin. It'll take a while. Now, if you use herbs for this patient, it'll be much faster. Maybe 3 weeks versus a 6-8 week treatment to try and qualify. Maybe longer. Yin spring points easy. We use them a lot, actually, clinically. I forgot to mention one thing on the Jamal point stuff, bleeding. Bleeding does 2 main things. Clears what? Clears heat. And what else? Moves blood stagnation. So you could lance the Jamal point, trick to bleed, squeeze that crusty end of the toothpaste off. Nice bright red blood flowing in. Maybe you have that good movement. I hate bleeding the Jamal points. I would much rather bleed your apex or one of the 6 points along the edge of the ear. It's much easier. It's still sharp, it's still painful, but it's not so intense as your fingers with cheese so superficial there. It's a feat. True string points. What gathers here? What kind of chi? Wei chi gathers here. Reoccurring colds and flus, things like that. What's it treat? Joints, joint pain, inflammation, gout, arthritis, tendonitis. A lot of the few stream points are used as distal points. So maybe your shoulder hurts at LI 15, you needle large intestine 3 is your stream points. They also dispel damp, so they treat heaviness. Really good for like rheumatoid arthritis. You feel the heat, you see it almost. It's like that. Shoestring. Okay, next page. Jing River gets the bum rap. The chi goes deeper and wider. It treats respiratory problems. Cough, asthma. As I mentioned before, it's not like you think, oh, let me do the small intestine Jing River because it treats respiratory problems. That's just really not how it's used clinically. And last, Hasi points, upper Hasi points, lower Hasi points, they all do the same thing. Fortify yang. They treat rebellious chi of young beings, stomach and large intestine. So upper and lower Hasis do the same thing. Fortify yang. And organs. And they treat rebellious chi from the young being. Stomach. See, it's pretty amazing that you guys stuck with me all this time. I went through all this in your very first class. And you're like, what the hell am I doing here? You're totally done through this. There's a lot of repetition here.
You were here.
Right. Yes, that was great too. Lots of repetition. You'll get this another time. Hopefully, as you do your next Acu Theory class, you'll dive in deeper. On the notes on these Jingwao, they have like what the yin channel does, what the yang channel does. You go in deeper. What a wood point does on a fire emergency goes. Pretty key. Okay, anything else with that? No. That's all you need to know for those. There is a true or false question. Do lower sequence tonify young organs?
What?
Do lower sequence tonify young organs? Yes, they do. Make sure you have that. Okay, any questions on this? Moving right along. Really, I mean, this class is a huge part of just filling out the chart. You can do that with money. Good to go. Okay, anything else on here? I don't ask you anything on the midday, midnight law. There's a couple questions on the entry-exit points, which are on this chart. It's a little bit easier, more concise on here. And let's see. Over that. So basically, you'll get a chart like this. And that's what you have to fill out. It does not contain the other boxes here. It just has the chart. So no up to the bladder for that part. Okay, let me look at the rest of this. Make sure you know the names of the meridians. Lung and spleen are we have large intestine, stomach, are yamin, heart, and kidney, then that's we had our shayin, and then small intestine and bladder, tayan. And know the respective hand or foot. Some questions. I don't think I did anything like that on the midterm, but prepare you for those. Like the question where I ask you, stomach meridian is foot is hand Yangming. Well, it's Yangming, but it's not on the hand. So it's just that one word that flips you up in the question. Does that make sense? Not yet. So the question will read, stomach is hand Yangming. Hand. Well, it is Yangming, right? But it's not a hand.
Yeah, okay.
That's all I know with that. Okay. Really, I only did that on the quizzes. I didn't do that on the midterm. Okay, you're going to have to know the 5 elements. Fill in the blank. Hope you got that by now. That ups your average on the chart. That's why you might read some of the questions and go, really? That's a question? Yeah, ups your average for missing anything on the chart. You also have to put the 5 elements for what element they belong to. So wood is liver and gallbladder. Fire hurt the small intestine. Earth, spleen, and stomach. Metal is lungs and large intestine. And water is kidney and bladder. So I'll give you the organs, and you have to fill in the blank what element they relate to. Fill in the blank question on what is 3 symptoms of rebellious chi. You have to list 3 symptoms of rebellious chi: coughing, vomiting, nausea, belching, diarrhea. One of those 3 there. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the 5 elements. And so for yin meridians, begin 5 element theory with what organ? Or what element? Wood. All yin meridians always begin the T-well point with wood. You have T-round, yin string, Jin river. So for all yin meridians, 5 element theory, T-well point with wood. What about for yang meridians? Metal. Fire, earth, water. For yang meridians, the T-well point begins with metal. T-round, Jing river. Okay, so that part we know. Let's do a long meridian. See, we go Ting-well, 11, 10, 9. First 3 points always in succession. Either the first 3 or the last 3. And then Jing River and Hesi point. Now, how do we find the Harari point? The same element as the organ it belongs to, right? So a metal point on a metal meridian would be the Jing River point. Harari. Always the preceding point is tonification. And the point after it, always sedation.
For that term, we need to also list the control point.
Yeah, not for this chart. We didn't do a control point. I'll just have to put a little TH or S. You'll have to know control point for the next class. There's a lot to memorize in this class. We whittled some of it down. Let's do this. Let's see. Let's do heart. Small intestine is one organ. So we do Fire point on a fire meridian, Ferrari. Point in front of it, always uniformification. And the point after it's always sedation. So this is where I'm saying you don't have to study those numbers individually. You know how to map it out. You can do the math and then just save yourself a lot of study time. Any questions on those? Quantification, sedation, Ferrari will be on the chart that you have to put in. Make sure you know the command points that are on. They're on this chart. Only 4 of them. The abdomen, stomach 36, occiput, nape and neck, lung 7, low back, bladder 40, face and mouth, large intestine 4. Always usually listed as head for large intestine 4. So 4 command points, make sure you know those. One of those will be in there. The influential points you need to know. Fill in the blanks on the command points and the influential points also on the top right here. The Ren points, actually the ones we've done are only bladder 11 and 17 and lung 9. Bladder 11 and 17. Bladder 11 is the influential point of bones. 17 influential point of blood. And lung 9 influential point of pulse or vessels. Yes. The rest we haven't done, and a couple of them are Ren points as well. Okay, we talked about and lung 9, yeah. Okay, I have a question about the lungs here. Best point for sinus congestion, the answer is lung 7. This point sends energy down from the head, opens up the sinuses. Great for sneezing too. Lung 7 for sinus congestion. The best point listed in these options is lung 7. And then I have a question about the cough with excess phlegm and heat. What does the phlegm look like? Yellow, and it could have what? Blood streaks. Good. So if you have a cough that's very weak and you have very little phlegm coming up, scanty phlegm, do you tonify or sedate the lung? So weak cough. Tonify. It would treat lung 9, the tonification part. Lung 9 to tonify a weak cough, scanty phlegm. Okay, there's only 25 questions in the written part. Well, there's more because of the bladder question that's in there, but really there's under 50 written questions. Okay, the last part we have to go over is the extra credit. All the points that we have done that are the names, the common points that we use over and over again, there will be 1, 2, 3, so 7 possible extra credit points. George keeps threatening I'm going to take him away. He hasn't done that yet. He says I get too much extra credit. I only need 2. So, for lung, we have lung 1, Chong Fu. Lung 5, lung 7, Greg. Lung 9, Taiwan. That's it for lung, large intestine. We do 4, Purdue. Did we do 11? spelled right? There's an I missing in there. Did you do 20? You John? Welcome, fragrance. Stomach. You do 25? 36? 40? Big one. Critical point for them. Is it for stomach, spleen? 3, right? Bye-bye. 4. Gongsun. 6. Sun Dao. 9. Taiwan. 10. Shanghai. It's it for Spain, right? 29 is not Taiwan, it's Yinling Chuan. Oops, good call. Yin. We were in Goblet 34, it's Yang Chuan. Opposite side. Okay, stomach. No, stomach, heart. This one, right? 7, Shenmen. I used this today. I don't know if I got you guys this yet. I'm just trying. Such a powerful combination. I'm not. Putting 6 and then heart 7. So if you want to calm someone down, can't chill, you just a lot of access going on this combination both wrists. It's really amazing. Like as soon as I finished rung 9 on both wrists, I did one side, then I did the other side. As soon as I did rung 9, whole disposition on the stage changed. This is the inner gate to the soul, and the gate to the soul. 2 powerful points to access for you. What else? Small intestine. Just did 1, right? 3. Oh, gee, that hurts. Hoshi. Bladder. What do you want it? Bladder 40. And 60, right? Okay, so out of those common points there will be 7 that are listed on. Spell it right. You get the credit. Any questions up to this? The main thing is doing the chart. If you can get through, the questions we went over are fairly easy. Getting through, memorizing the chart, finding a way to do that. Do your super brain yoga. Get stuck. Left arm over the heart. 2 minutes. That's all it takes. You will feel the buzz. Okay, any questions on that? We'll have our break. We'll come back. We'll do the exam. We'll leave after the exam. We will not have class. And then we will probably do, either I will do a